In the previous section, we explored the fastest racing pigeon breeds and what makes them superior in competitions. However, selecting the right breed is only the first step toward building a champion loft. To create elite racing pigeons, breeders must understand the principles of genetic selection, inbreeding, and genetic diversity. A well-structured breeding program can significantly enhance speed, endurance, intelligence, and overall health in a bloodline. In this section, we will dive deep into black tick mark, the role of genetics in pigeon racing, black tick mark, the advantages and risks of inbreeding, black tick mark, the importance of genetic diversity and outcrossing, black tick mark, how to develop a balanced breeding strategy. By the end of this section, you will have a solid understanding of advanced breeding techniques used by top pigeon fanciers worldwide. The role of genetics in racing pigeons. Pigeon racing is not just about training and nutrition. Genetics plays a massive role in a bird's ability to perform. While training helps pigeons build endurance and discipline, their natural speed, intelligence, and navigation skills are mostly inherited. Just like in horse racing or dog breeding, top racing pigeons come from proven bloodlines. Their genes determine muscle structure, endurance, homing ability, and even mental toughness, all crucial factors in competitive racing. Breeding strategies revolve around maximizing desirable traits while avoiding genetic weaknesses. This is where inbreeding, line breeding, and outcrossing come into play. Understanding inbreeding in racing pigeons. What is inbreeding? Inbreeding is when two pigeons with closely related genetics are paired together to reinforce specific traits. This technique has been used for centuries in selective breeding programs, and when done correctly, it can help maintain superior qualities in a bloodline. Some common inbreeding practices include black tick mark, father-daughter pairing, used to reinforce speed and intelligence. Black tick mark, brother-sister pairing, produces strong genetic consistency but must be managed carefully. Black tick mark, uncle-niece pairing, helps refine performance traits while reducing genetic risks. Advantages of inbreeding. White tick mark preserves elite traits. If a pigeon has exceptional speed or homing ability, inbreeding can pass those traits down to future generations. White tick mark creates genetic consistency. Inbred pigeons tend to have predictable performance characteristics, making them easier to train and race. White tick mark develops superior racing families. Many of the best racing bloodlines, such as Janssen and Huiskens van Riel, were created through controlled inbreeding. However, inbreeding must be carefully managed to prevent genetic weaknesses from becoming dominant. Risks of inbreeding. Crossmark, weakened immune system. Excessive inbreeding can reduce a pigeon's ability to fight off diseases. Crossmark, lower fertility rates. Inbreeding often leads to reduced fertility and hatchability. Crossmark, increased genetic defects. Overuse of inbreeding can cause physical deformities and weaker muscles. To avoid these issues, breeders must balance inbreeding with outcrossing to introduce fresh genetic material into their bloodlines. Genetic diversity. Why outcrossing is essential. What is outcrossing? Outcrossing is when a pigeon from an unrelated bloodline is introduced to an existing family. This helps refresh genetic diversity, preventing health problems and improving overall resilience and adaptability. Benefits of outcrossing. White tick mark, stronger immune system. Pigeons with diverse genetics have a higher resistance to diseases. White tick mark, more energy and stamina. Outcrossed birds often show greater endurance in long-distance races. White tick mark, higher fertility rates. Genetic diversity improves hatchability and reproductive success. Outcrossing is essential when a bloodline starts showing signs of inbreeding depression, weaker performance, higher illness rates, and reduced racing ability. Line breeding. The perfect balance between inbreeding and outcrossing line breeding is a controlled form of inbreeding that allows breeders to maintain strong genetics without the risks of extreme inbreeding. Instead of pairing direct relatives, breeders use distant relatives to reinforce desirable traits. Common line breeding practices include black tick mark, grandfather x granddaughter, preserves elite blood while reducing genetic risks. Black tick mark, cousin x cousin, a safe way to maintain family traits without excessive inbreeding. Black tick mark, half brother x half sister, keeps the gene pool strong while ensuring consistency. Most top pigeon fanciers combine line breeding with selective outcrossing to build strong, healthy, and high-performance bloodlines. How to develop a champion racing pigeon bloodline. If you want to breed elite racing pigeons, follow these proven breeding strategies. Step 1. Select high-quality breeding stock. Start with pigeons that have proven racing performance. Advanced breeding techniques for racing pigeons, enhancing speed, stamina, and genetic superiority. In the previous section, we explored the importance of inbreeding, genetic diversity, and selective breeding in racing pigeons. Now, we will expand on these principles by diving deeper into advanced breeding techniques, including black tick mark, performance-based selection, how to identify and breed only the best pigeons. Black tick mark, hybrid vigor, heterosis, how crossbreeding improves racing performance. Black tick mark, genetic markers and scientific breeding, how modern technology is changing pigeon breeding. Black tick mark, environmental influence on genetics, why training, diet, and loft conditions matter. Developing a champion bloodline is not just about genetics, it's about understanding how selection, environment, and training interact to produce the best results. By the end of this section, you will have a comprehensive roadmap for producing faster, stronger, and smarter racing pigeons. Performance-based selection, identifying the best breeding stock. No matter how strong a bloodline is, not all pigeons within that family will be elite racers. This is why experienced breeders practice performance-based selection, ensuring that only the best birds contribute to future generations. Key traits to look for in a champion pigeon. When selecting pigeons for breeding, focus on black tick mark, flight speed and acceleration. Does the pigeon consistently finish in the top percentage of races? Black tick mark, navigation skills. Does it find its way home faster than other pigeons in various weather conditions? Black tick mark, endurance and stamina. Can it maintain high speeds over long distances? Black tick mark, competitive drive. Does it display a natural instinct to win? Black tick mark, muscular and wing structure. Are its wings powerful and well proportioned for efficient flight? Black tick mark, health and resilience. Does it have a strong immune system and recover quickly after races? Only pigeons that meet all these criteria should be used for breeding. Even if a pigeon comes from a top bloodline, it should not be used if it fails in real racing conditions. Hybrid vigor, heterosis, how crossbreeding enhances performance while inbreeding preserves strong genetic traits. Excessive inbreeding can cause weaknesses in a pigeon bloodline. One solution to this problem is hybrid vigor, also known as heterosis. What is hybrid vigor? Hybrid vigor occurs when two genetically different pigeon strains are crossed, producing offspring that are stronger, healthier, and more adaptable than their parents. Hybrid pigeons often show white tick mark, increased endurance and stamina, greater resistance to fatigue. White tick mark, stronger immune systems, less prone to disease. White tick mark, better adaptability to weather conditions, can race well in both hot and cold temperatures. White tick mark, improved overall intelligence and homing ability, faster navigation under difficult conditions. How to use hybrid vigor in racing pigeon breeding. To maximize the benefits of hybrid vigor, breeders use strategic crossbreeding between two high-performance bloodlines. For example, Black tick mark, crossing a Janssen pigeon, explosive speed, with a Meulemans pigeon, endurance, creates a bird with both speed and stamina. Black tick mark, crossing a Koopman pigeon, long distance capability, with a Huyskens Van Riel pigeon, aggressive racing style, results in a pigeon that is both mentally and physically strong. Hybrid breeding should be used sparingly and followed by careful testing. Not every cross will be successful, so fanciers must race their offspring and only breed from the best performing individuals. Genetic markers and scientific breeding, the future of racing pigeon selection. Modern advances in genetics and animal breeding technology are transforming pigeon racing. Scientists and top breeders are now using DNA analysis and genetic markers to predict a pigeon's racing potential. How genetic testing works in racing pigeons. Scientists have identified specific genes related to black tick mark, muscle performance and oxygen efficiency, determines endurance. Black tick mark, navigation and spatial intelligence, affects homing ability. Black tick mark, metabolic efficiency, impacts speed and recovery time. By analyzing these genetic markers, breeders can predict a pigeon's potential before it even starts racing. This method reduces the need for trial and error breeding, allowing fanciers to invest in only the best pigeons. Some elite lofts are now gene testing their pigeons before making breeding decisions, ensuring they only breed pigeons with the best genetic composition for racing success. The influence of training, diet, and loft conditions on genetics. While genetics provide the foundation for racing success, environmental factors play an equally important role. A pigeon with world-class genetics will still fail if it is not properly trained, fed, or housed.